Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Denise from Creates with Love. And today I'm going to go over how to curve text, but not only how to curve text, but some of the little things that you might run into that are sometimes hard to realize. So, for example, I got two emails, and I'm going to address both of these issues, plus some fun things towards the end of what you can do, different ideas for curving text and different things you can use besides just a font for the curve feature. So be sure to stick to the end for those fun things. Okay, so the two things that I wanted to cover, the two email questions I received was one was I was curving text and doing fine. And then I was working on my design. And then I decided I wanted to change my curve just a little bit. But when I went back to curve my text, when I clicked on my text, the curve feature didn't go from grayed out to bold. So I was unable to curve, adjust my curve. Okay, the second question was I'm aware that I can bring a welded curve design from my desktop app into my phone app. But when I brought my welded design into my phone app, I got an error saying that this was a curved design and I could not use it. So I'm going to cover both of those questions plus a whole lot more. So stay tuned and here we go. All right, so first of all, how to curve text. So anytime that you curve text, you'll notice up here there is no curve option. You have to literally click on the text box on the left. Even now, we can add text in our text box, but the curve is grayed out. So the only way to get this to become bold is to add some text. So let's just add "you are my." Now we have the option to curve, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to change this to a different font, one that I like. Okay, so this one right here, Avenida com. Okay, so now one of the reasons I picked this font was I wanted to show you something very important about curving your text. Okay, so if I click on my text and bring it up a little bit so you can see it, the one thing I noticed right away is my Y and my O. To me, it's too far apart. I want to move that Y a little bit in. Everything else looks fine space-wise. But the thing is, if I went to advanced and if I went to ungroup to letters, if I did that, I wouldn't be able to curve my text. And let me show you. Okay, so let's just pretend I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to move this Y a little bit closer. Okay, see, I like that better now. So I'm going to grab everything, I'm going to group it back together, and now I'm going to curve it. I can click on it till my heart's desire, and that curve feature is not going to return. The reason why is I ungrouped my letters. So you simply cannot ungroup your letters first. So all that is to say is this would be the correct way. So go ahead, I closed it. I'm just going to do the same thing. You are my, and this time what I'm going to do, see, I have my curved option here. I'm still not happy about that space, but I'm just going to ignore that for now. And I'm going to click on curve. I'm going to go ahead and curve my text how I want it to be, or how I think I want it to be, right? We can always change the curve diameter later. And then while I'm here, I want to mention too that when you curve to the right, your curve goes like a frown, okay? Like a I'm unhappy frown. When you curve to the left, it's like a smile, okay? When you go to the left, you have a negative right here in front of your numbers, okay? So anytime you go beyond the middle, and then by the way, if you decide that you were going to curve it either way and you decide, you know what, I'd rather have that be a straight line, rather than try and find the middle again, I would just, oh, actually, this time it worked. That's amazing. So let's just say it was here and you want to go immediately to 0. You just hit 0 and there you go. All right, so there's a couple little tricks right there for you. So here we are. I'm going to curve my design again, just like I was showing you. I'm going to do it this way. And then now, if you want to, now that it's already got your curve, if you want to ungroup to letters, you certainly can, and then move it to exactly where you want it to go. All that is to say is that once again, you have to make sure that that curve diameter is where you want it to be, because see, now that I've ungrouped it again, I still don't have the option to do anything. Okay, so that's just a very important feature. That was one of my questions. So let me close out of this. So we're going to go back and we're going to add, there we go. So we're going to do the same theme and we're going to go ahead and get our curve going. I'm going to make this a little, well, actually, I kind of want to keep it big for y'all to see, make it easier for you guys to see. Okay, so what I want to cover here is that I want to plan my curve or the radius of my curve to the image that I already know that I'm going to use, okay? So let me go ahead and find my image, which is just going to be a sun. So I'm going to type in SUN. I'm going to pick this one, make it quick and easy, make it a little bit bigger to match that curve. Or I can make it smaller and match my curve to the sun, okay? So you get the idea there. So that looks pretty good. I might want to take it and curve it just a little bit more like that. Okay, but see, I have another word here. Can you guess what that word's going to be? If you can guess what that word was going to be before I type it here, leave me a comment of what that word's going to be. I think it's one of the most famous things, at least in my family. It's extremely important, and I think it's that way for a lot of families as well. Anyway, so let me get that third item, but second text. I'm going to go ahead and put my caps on. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it. And I decide that I might want my sunshine, my letter spaces to be a little bit further apart. So I'm going to click the up arrow here, about like that. And then now I'm going to go ahead and let me just check the size of my font with 72. Click this. The size of my font is still 72. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it like that. I'm going to go for the curve. I'm going to do the curve the opposite way. Remember, to the left is a smile. Okay, that looks pretty good to me, but you know what? Here's another trick. Check it out. If you click on this "You Are My" and you're very happy with the radius of that design, click on the curve feature and see how it says 5.164. I'm just going to change that to 5.1. So if I click on it again and click curve, now it just says 5.1. So I'm going to click on this one and I want to make it the same radius as that one. So I'm going to click on curve and see it's this number. So I'm going to do, remember it's got the negative because it was to the left. So I'm going to hit negative 5.1. Hit enter. And now we have identical radius of our curved text. The only thing I could do is maybe bring it up a little bit. So there we go. So again, I don't like how far the Y away is from the O. And remember how I showed you earlier, we cannot ungroup text before we get our curve. So I'm going to click on it now that I'm happy exactly with how the spacing is, except for that. I'm happy with the font that I chose. I'm happy with everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to Advanced, Ungroup to Letters. I'm going to take this Y. I'm going to move it just a little bit in. That looks good to me. I'm going to take these same letters. I'm going to hold down my Shift key because I have so much going on here. I want to just select these right here. So I've got my Y. In fact, actually, it's easier for me just to do it from over here. You can do it from either way. The S is for the sunshine. All of these match You Are My. So I've already got the Y selected. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and click every other letter and then hit Group. Now those are all grouped together. And then once again, see, the option to curve is gone, but that's okay because we did the correct process of getting our curve correct first and then ungrouping and changing a letter space there, okay? This part down here now is still, if we wanted to change our letter space, our font size, or even our curve, we could, okay? So all of this is still very editable if we wanted to. The only time is when you ungroup your letters. Okay, so that was basically addressing my first question, plus teaching you how to curve text in this way. So let me go ahead and just an extra tip, if you were going to make this design, you would want to select this first group, hold your Shift key, select Sunshine, and click Attach. That attaches these two together. And then basically you're good. You're good to go. If you wanted to be able to move this around freely, you would then hit Group. And there you go. Now you have your item all grouped together and everything is perfect and ready to go. So I'm just going to put this here for now. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Let's just say that, well, one thing I want to keep in mind for y'all is your font and your radius circle is very much dependent upon the font you choose and the size you choose. So let's go ahead and go with You Are My, except for I want to get rid of the caps, at least for now. And I'm going to go ahead and change it back to this one. Okay, so Cricut Sans. So this is the first default font that comes up for Cricut. So if I do You Are My, and let's just make this one, actually, let's keep that one that size. And then we're going to, actually, you know what? Let me make it more obvious. Okay, so You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine. This is in size 72 font. I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate it just so I can show you the difference between different font sizes. So this one I'm going to change to 30. Actually, let's make this one even smaller. Let's make this one 20. And we'll make this one, instead of 72, we'll make it 50. Okay, so there's a small font, same sentencing, and a larger font, same sentencing. So let's take this. I'm going to make this a little bit wider so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so we'll take this one. I'm going to get my curve, and I'm going to go ahead and make a full circle with a little bit of space, just a little bit, as if I was. Okay, we'll just make it a full circle like that. And we'll take this one and we'll do the same thing. Make a full circle. Perfect. So what this shows you is that dependent upon the size of your font and even the style, even though these are the same style, you can see what a difference it's going to make in the radius of your circle. So keep that in mind when you're designing a project, right? If you were wanting to make like a little sticker, even though you could take this and shrink it down, right? It's just so that you know that the size of your font and the style of your font is going to decide how your project's going to look. So just keep that in mind. So let me go ahead and just close out of both of these. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you is about multiple lines. So let's just say you have text and I'm going to change it to, let's go with a Cricut one and I'll do Dom casual standard regular. Okay, I like that one. Let's go ahead and do Faith plants the seed. And then I'm going to hit enter because I want multiple lines on this one. Love makes it grow. Okay, so here I've got multiple lines of text here. And you'll notice that the curve feature is grayed out. You can't see it. Even if I was to go to the alignment tool and center it, the curve is still grayed out. But what we can do is we can go to the Advanced tab and we can go ungroup to lines. You're only going to see this feature if you actually have text that are in lines. So I'm going to ungroup to lines, and now if I select the top one, we now have the curve feature back. If I select the bottom one, same thing. You have the ability to curve. So let me just move this down a little bit. Let's take this one. I'm going to go ahead and curve it down. Okay, and then again, I want to check my radius if I'm going to insert an image. On this one, I think I'm going to go with sunflower. We're going to put this in here, make it a little bit bigger. And then we go with here. And then again, we can do the whole line up the radius thing if you want. Okay, so if we like this one, actually, let me just curve it a little bit more. Nope, too much. Like that. But maybe we just want this one to be straight. I mean, that's okay too, right? We could just keep it like that. But my point is that in order to curve text that's in multiple lines, you first have to separate that curve. Once you separate them into, or you're not separating the curve, you're separating the lines. And then once they're individual lines, you can decide to curve or to not curve. You could keep it exactly like that. So there's ungrouping to lines while curving text. Okay, so let me think. We've covered everything. The only thing we have left now is I want to address the cell phone issue for my other user, and then I have the fun things to come. So let me go ahead and actually, I'm just going to attach all of this because this is all, I'm going to keep it all one color. So we're just going to attach. It's all good to go. Make it smaller. I'll put it up next to this cute one. I'm going to show you how you can actually, instead of using letters, we're just going to use the period, or a lot of people are familiar with the .com, so just the dot, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, decimal. So check this out. You can actually make this into a curved circle. So imagine, if you will, that you are making, say, a wooden plaque, something like that. You could use this. There we go. Just wanted to show you that you could literally, instead of thinking of curved text as only being able to use text, you can certainly use it for different things, okay? I think a lot of people, when they see that you can curve and they think of text, they might not think of these other fun things that you can actually do. And you can make this size whatever size you want. You could also, if you wanted to, change it to, it's not going to get rid of them all. There we go. Let's just go ahead and we'll go with asterisks instead. Look how cute is that? It's already making it circle for me because I still had the design from before. Right? How cute is that? Wouldn't these be cute for labels or stickers? Okay, so let me show you another example to use curving text. Instead of thinking of it as only text like I showed you in those previous examples, what about a curved line? You know how hard it is to find the exact curved line that you want. Let's just go ahead and go to text. And again, we'll use our dash or, right? One could call it a minus sign, just a dash. That's a little bit too long. Let me get rid of some of them. Okay, so I'm going to make it kind of short so I can do a couple things with this one line of dash, but you can make it as long as you want. So we've got our dashes right here. Now we're going to go ahead and go up to letter space. Even though it's dashes, we think of it the same way, right? So we just hit the down arrow until there's no more space in our dashes. Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so I don't see any space here. I'm going to go one more. Okay, so there we go. We've got a straight line just used by making dashes. Now we're going to hit curve. There's our straight line. Now we can curve it. And then what's going to happen? When we curve it, it pulls the space apart. That's okay. We just simply go right back up to letter space and we hit the down arrow until our space is back as one line. There we go. There is our curved line. We could also, I'm going to do one more. There we go. We could also take this and like I said, if it was longer, right, it would be a bigger dip. So you could imagine a longer line. In fact, let me just do another one. We'll just do the dashes again, just so I can show you the longer line effect. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring it together. So it's one. That looks good. Then I'm going to go to curve. I'm going to go ahead and curve it. I'm picturing it like a rainbow. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the letter space again. And then when I see it, I go, well, maybe I want to curve it just a little bit more like that. And that looks good to me. Okay. And then keep in mind with these types of things, you can also change it. Maybe you want to do the rainbow. So when you have a curved line like this, you could also take it and duplicate it. And you could take it and go to the flip vertical. And now you're going to be putting a curved line together. And then depending on your curved line too, you might get a different effect with the different fonts you use. And I'll show you that a little bit later on the fun things that you can do. But I wanted to show you how you could literally make your fonts into dashes and then use them for different, I hit the wrong one, hit flip, there we go, vertical, and then here we go, right? And then if you wanted to put it all together, you could literally weld this together and make it one unit. Okay, so I did this kind of fast. I could have taken my time and done the little slopes a little bit easier, but this is how you get your one solid line. Once it's a solid line, then if you change the color, see, this one's more smooth. This one I didn't take my time as I'm trying to be quick for the video. But you could literally make a pretty rainbow out of all of these type of lines just by doing like the half circle and the different colors, and you would be able to make your simple, nice, cute rainbow. Okay, so let me go ahead. So there we just covered some fun things that you can do. I want to show you what happens if you bring in a font that maybe is not in your design space. So I don't know how many are familiar. I know a lot of people are, but not everybody is familiar with bringing in your own fonts or even using your own system fonts within Design Space. So if you notice that if you go to a text and then you go to fonts, if you do all, it's going to show any font that you've purchased and uploaded into Design Space. It's going to show you any free font you've been able to get and uploaded into Design Space. So it's also going to show you any system fonts that were on your system to begin with. So these are all, I have a lot of system fonts. So, oh, let me close this. There we go. So these are everything that's on my system, whether I uploaded them from an outside source like Creative Market or fontbundles.net. There's a lot of sites you can go to purchase fonts or even get free fonts like defont.com. And a lot of the other places like Font Bundles and Creative Market even give free fonts. So this is where you'll find those is under system. And then you have your Cricut fonts. These are the ones that if you're an Access member, you'll have the little green A for your fonts there. And then even there, you'll have some that are paid ones. Okay, so like this Apple one is a good example. It's by Cricut, but you need to pay the $4.99 in order to use it, not just for one project, but for any project that you want going forward with that font. So all that is to say is that some fonts that you can upload into Design Space have like extra characters. Kind of like when you see here, you see this right here on every font. It's going to give you some of their extras and what they're going to look like, right? So like if you used an asterisk, it's going to look like that. If you used an underscore, it's going to look like that. Ah. So it's a good idea to pay attention to the latter part of these fonts in case you're looking for a very specific element to your font design, okay? So as an example, I have this one font called Adorable. I'm going to put it on System. Okay, so this font comes with what they call extras, and this is what I wanted to show you. And this is really awesome for using it for curved text, even though it's not a text, we're going to go with a symbol. So all that is to say is curving your text is not just for letters. It's for, like I showed you, the periods, the dots, the dashes. So I'm going to select Adorable Extras. The problem with a lot of times with using an extra in a font or extra glyphs or flourishes, whatever you want to call them, basically it's easier if you have like a font manager that you can look to get your designs from and get to know specifically what to use it for. So as an example, I have a Windows computer, so I'm using what's called HighLogic Main Type. That's who makes it, but it's basically a font manager for Windows systems. I believe for Apple, you would use something called your font book for Apple users. I believe would do maybe not the exact layout, but similar to what I'm using here. This can be a paid program, but I have a lot of fonts and I get as much use out of it as I need, and I use the free edition. So every time this is going to pop up, I use free edition. I just click close here. There is going to be sometimes messages up here. You can ignore them or close them, what have you. So basically what a font manager does is it lets you know the preview of what the font looks like when it's typed, what type of family it's coming from, the family meaning style. Here's your style as far as regular, italic, bold, right? The family meaning what type of family it comes from. And then you've got the kerning is going to be your spacing. But over here, it tells you what each item is of that font. So let me find the adorable in here. Here it is. Here's adorable and here's adorable extra. So this reads every one of my system fonts that I have. So if I click on adorable extras, it puts it over here, but it also puts whatever is selected here. You can see this was the last one I used because I like it a lot. But if you click on it, so in other words, I could be on this one and it's going to show what that is. If I click on this one, it's going to show that cute little insect. Can't tell if it's a butterfly or dragonfly actually, but let's go ahead and go back to this one. But what it tells you is that if you wanted to use this symbol, right, here's all of the choices that's in this one that you could use. But if you wanted to just use this one, it tells you to use the small letter L. Okay, if it was an I, it would have a dot on it. So this is for a small letter L. So that's all I need to know. I can close this out because I know that's what I'm going to use and I'm not planning on using any others. But keep that in mind. This design or just these extras from this font would give a whole different look to your design by using some of these swirls along with this cute little heart or that little insect. Okay, so since I don't need this now, I just need to know that it's a small letter L. I'm going to close this and I'm going to type for this one, just so I can show you a simple circle again. I'm just going to type L, 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 L. And if I wanted to, I could also put, spaces in between them if I didn't want them so close together. So keep that in mind as well. I go up to my curve and then I change my radius like that. Okay, how cute is that? Okay, so this takes me right into a good place to show you about the cell phone. So let's just say like before, that was my other email question. I'm going to make two of these. And I'm going to make one bigger just to make it easier for us. Okay, and then for these, I'm going to actually get rid of all of this. We don't need it anymore. I only want these two items on my canvas, and there's a very specific reason why. Okay, so let's say that this was the design that you liked it, but you weren't sure, like you were like, you know what, maybe I want to do something with it in a little bit. That's why I duplicated it because, right, I brought the hearts in and I really like it, but I want to work on several different designs. So rather than just have to go and get another line of hearts, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to just turn that layer off. Okay, that way it's not in my way. It's still there in case I want to duplicate it again or turn it into a specific, different project, I can. But let's say I like this and I want to Let's say I just want the hearts and that's it. But I'm on my desktop computer now, and you know what? I'm going to be going on vacation, and I want to turn this into a cute little sticker or a gift tag, and I want to be able to cut these out while I'm on vacation. I have a Cricut Joy. I'm going to take it with me on vacation when I have more time and I'm more relaxed because I've been so busy. And this way, I want to be able to bring a curved item, whether it be a text or hearts like this. If you use your iPhone or any of your cell phone or your tablets, we don't have the ability yet to curve text. Okay. I think that's something that Cricut's working on, but it's just not released yet. So, in the meantime, what you can do is design your design in a desktop application. Doesn't matter if you have a Windows computer or Apple computer, just design it on the desktop app or have somebody else design it for you and send you the file. But what they need to do, or what you need to do before you go on vacation, is take this item right here. Right now, Cricut won't recognize this into your phone app. Okay, so let me just actually, before, let me take this. This is the design you're going to take with you on vacation. So I'm going to go ahead and weld it all together. This makes it one image. Okay, it's no longer a bunch of separate hearts. It's just one image in Cricut's mind. That's how Cricut's going to read it. This one, Cricut would read as individual lines. This one, Cricut's going to recognize as one individual image. So if I go and I save this project, right, because this one I'm going to use later, but I want to go on vacation, I'm going to use this one. So I'm just going to put cell phone test. I'm going to save it. Okay, so let me just give that a second. Let me see if I can bring up, I saved it to the cloud. So let me see if I can bring it up on my cell phone and show you what happens. Okay, so let me bring my cell phone here. I'm going to go to, this is Cricut Design Space in case you haven't used it on your phone app. This is I'm on an Apple iOS device. Hit Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to go to, it's already on home. So I'm going to click on, actually not new canvas. Go back to home. Click on my categories. And I want to go to my projects in the cloud. And I'm going to look for that cell phone test. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to click on cell phone test. And I'm going to click on make it. And see that message there? It says it contains curved text. iOS does not currently support canvases with curved text. And your only choice is to hit OK. So what happened was, let me go ahead and minimize the cell phone. Actually, I want to close out of this so I can show you the next one. And I'm going to go ahead and close it. So let us go back to this design right here. And remember, this we welded. This is not welded. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete the one that's welded, or you could go in and weld it, either way. So let me give it a second for my cell phone. Since it's in the cloud, it might take a moment for it to refresh on our Cricut screen. Okay, so this is the welded one. I'm going to resave the project. This is the one, remember, that I wanted to take on vacation. So now I'll bring up my cell phone app again. And I'm going to open up my Cricut. And I'm going to do projects in the cloud again, just so I kind of refresh it. For some reason, it's kind of frozen. Come on. Well, let me see if it will take it from this one. Hopefully it refreshed long enough to do it. Okay, so now it's going to make the project. So There is the difference. If you have anything else on the side that's not been welded, it won't allow you to cut the one item that you had welded, right? Because if you have anything curved, I should say, on the right. If you have other things that are there that aren't curved, that's fine. It'll carry over. But if you do have a curved file over here that you haven't welded, you'll get that previous message. So this was the other email question that I had, and I hope that really helps. All right, so now let's get to another fun part. This is the last part of the video, and I just wanted to show you, like, right, there's so many examples. Let me just close out of this. Let's go back to text. And I want to show you that I want you to explore, right? When you're doing the curved text, there's so many different things you can use, like I showed you with the different, by using the dots and the lines to make a curved line. Or you could make all dashes in a circle. It just depends on the look that you're going for. But also I want to show you dependent on the fonts, and I'm just going to use some Cricut fonts so you can see which ones can do some fun things. And then I encourage you to look even further because I'm just going to show you a couple here. And there is a bunch. I'm not kidding. If you do a whole bunch of different little things, you're going to find some different items. So here we are, we're on DJ Flirt, and I'm just going to put in, the period or the dots, whatever you want to call them. And but look what shows. Oops. Clicked the wrong thing. Look what shows up instead of dots. Okay, how fun is that, right? You could use that. Or what if you decided to, I'm just going to backspace that because you could curve that into a circle if you wanted to. In fact, let me just do that real quick, just so you can get the full effect. We're going to curve it all the way around. How fun is that? Okay, so let's get another one. We're going to keep it on the same font, but this time we're going to use Shift 8, which is an asterisk. And look what this font gives you. How cute, again, is that? Okay, so we're going to curve it. We're going to bring it in. So these are just showing you all the different fun things that you might not have thought about when using fonts and curving and using symbols instead of letters. Okay, so here's another one that I found. Let me go ahead and go to here. We're going to do DonJuan, but we're going to do puzzled. Let's just go ahead and do dots. How fun is that? Maybe you want something with puzzles. Maybe you want to keep it curved. Maybe you want to keep it straight. Maybe you want to make it in a whole circle. Just ideas that I'm throwing out here. Let's change the font to another one. Let's go with Jubilee. Look at this one, Jubilee. You can go with flags. Here's some houses. How fun is that? You could do little houses like this. Let's go with another one. Let's go with Martha Stewart has a bunch of options here. Let's go with the banner one. Not only that, see how I used a period so it's showing the dots? What if I change this to all asterisks? There are banners with asterisks. And again, you don't have to curve them completely in a circle. You could do it like a cute little banner. You could do, scooped up and then put letters for happy birthday above them, or there's so many things you could do with curving. So there's some great examples. And then I want to show you this last one. I thought this one was really fun. I'm going to go with just to kind of show, see this Go Canada one? with the leaves. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the dots again, and it's going to give me leaves. I'm just going to make them smaller. Okay, and let me just double click it again, and I'm going to add some more dots. I don't know if that's enough. I'm going to add a couple more just in case. And now I'm going to take that and I'm going to curve it, make a nice little wreath. And then what I notice is with this font, right, it's got the hole in it. Let me bring this up a little bit. It's got the hole in it, which maybe I don't want it to show. Okay, so let me just make this wider. Okay, so I don't want this to show the hole. So I'm going to undo one of these layers, probably that one, and close that one. That's the one with the holes. Okay, so now we have full leaves all in a circle. These layers are shut off, so we no longer have that cute little hole there. And now we have a full blown, I don't know, maple leaf. Okay. And so, just as an idea, and then two, once you have it, you can make it bigger or smaller, however you want. Okay. So let's just say that you want to add some text into there. What's some fun things? Actually, let me change. I'm going to change it to go back to this one here. It's a simple text, and I want to do all lowercase. So let's just do, that's going to be too big though. Let's do it at 20. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Okay, double click it. Okay, so we've got our text in there. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to do autumn leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hay rides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pumpkins. 1, 2, 3, 4. How about crisp air? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, which it's not really going to do, but okay, so there we go. I'm going to take that. I'm going to curve it. I'm going to move it over here. And then you could do this several different ways, but what I like to do is just make it bigger until you get it how you want it. Yeah. How cute is that? I mean, you could take it literally, align it. Now you know that it's centered perfectly. Okay, and then also, if you wanted, let's just say, I mean, you could put little, you could find a leaf image or an acorn image or whatever how about, let's just keep it simple. So simple is good sometimes. And we're just going to take this and let's make it like a pretty gold color. Of course, it's going to be the color of whatever material you use or select for your design. I'm thinking this is going to be like, well, it could be for a t-shirt, but it could also be for a vinyl design, like maybe on a wooden plaque. Okay, so I'm happy with that size circle. I just need 3 more, so I'm going to click on it, duplicate it 3 more times now that we have the size that we like so that they're all the same. And you just put one in each spot, and then you can line them up, etc. Okay, I'm not going to worry about them being all perfect right now. But there you go. There is a very cute design, and it all started with choosing the font that was Go Canada that had leaves, I added words and added some dots, and we have a very cute design, except for I just realized I needed a dot there. No, right here. So there. If I would have left that space there, there would have been another dot right there, and I didn't pick up on it, but I don't want to take up your time now. So there you go. There is some really fun, really super fun, great ideas for curving text, right? Use asterisks, use dashes, use dots. Not only that, some of those, like literally to just go in here and pick a font. I'm trying to think of one that might have, I'm going to go with all Cricut and get rid of this. Balloons, right? How cute would that be? Like literally just dot, 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 dot. What's it going to be instead? A bunch of balloons. So go through and just, and I use the dots as a generic, but from the dot, a lot of these fonts, depending on the symbol that you choose, you're going to get a completely different looking item. So like I found one that had birdhouses. I mean, have fun with it. There are so many fun things you can do. And I hope you got a lot out of this tutorial. And remember to create with love. Bye.